It's Robot Rebellion, and nobody's safe. Least of all, Mega Man. This time, the super powerful cyborg takes on a horde of metal maniacs who've had it with being obedient. And they use every android annihilator ever invented to make you believe it. Mega Man goes berserk, blasting through a galaxy of mining stations in search of energy crystals. But it takes more than guts to battle the phenomenal robot masters who control these worlds. It's a wrenching job, the worst and the best that Mega Man's faced so far. In Mega Man 3, from our good friends at Capcom, released in 1990, also known as Rockman 3, Dr. Wily no Saigo. Why, Dr. Wily, why? The end of Dr. Wily, kind of what that translates to, roughly. Third game of the original Mega Man series. The 3 might have given that away. Released in Japan in 1990, localized in North America later in 1990, and Europe got it in 1992. Taking place after the events of Mega Man 2, the plot follows the titular hero as he helps his creator, Dr. Light, and former villain, Dr. Wily, collect parts for a peacekeeping robot by defeating several robot masters that have gone haywire. A platform action game, Mega Man 3 follows the same format set forth by its two predecessors. The player, as Mega Man, must complete a series of stages in any order. Defeating a stage's boss will earn you a special weapon, which can be selected and used at will throughout the rest of the game, as long as you have ammo for it. Mega Man 3 introduces new gameplay elements such as Mega Man's canine sidekick Rush and the ability to slide along the ground. Unlike with the first two installments of the series, artist and designer Keiji Inafune has considered the creation of Mega Man 3 to be very stressful due to time constraints and his own increased responsibilities during its development. And it shows. I will get into that later. Following the success of Mega Man 2, released 2 years earlier, Mega Man 3 has sold over 1 million copies and has been positively received in critical reviews. Its presentation and gameplay have been especially praised, although many sources found the game to be too difficult. Like other titles in the series, Mega Man 3 has been re-released several times on other gaming platforms and on mobile phones, and is part of various Mega Man franchise compilations. Plot goes as follows. It takes place during an unspecified year during the 21st century, 2000X, so the old future. The mad scientist, Dr. Wily, having twice had plans for world domination, had his plans dashed, claims to have reformed and begins work with Dr. Light on a project to build a peacekeeping robot named Gamma. Robot masters in charge of a set of mining worlds, however, go berserk and make off with Gamma's 8 power crystals. Mega Man is called into action, this time with a canine companion named Rush to retrieve the crystals from the sites. Throughout this mission, the protagonist continually encounters and spars with Breakman, a masked foe who has abilities comparable to Mega Man's own. After Mega Man destroys the 8 robot masters, he must then revisit 4 of the mining sites to face off against 8 Doc robots who possess the abilities of the robot masters from Mega Man's most recent mission. Once the crystals are retrieved, Wily reverts to his evil ways, steals Gamma, and retreats to his new fortress. To stop Wily's newest plan to conquer the world, Mega Man destroys Gamma and defeats Wily in a final confrontation. As the fortress begins to crumble, Breakman appears in enough time to save Mega Man, but is too late to save Wily, who is seen being crushed under the rubble. When Mega Man regains consciousness in Dr. Light's lab, his creator informs him that he must have been rescued by Proto Man, Mega Man's brother. Mega Man 3 retains the platforming and action game elements established in the first 2 games. We control Mega Man as we go through 8 selectable stages. We have our Mega Buster as our primary weapon. We can pick up all the fine different power-ups, life energy, special weapon ammunition, extra lives, and E-tanks, which are stored and can be selected to refill players' life energy. At the end of every stage, we must defeat a robot master. Magnet Man, Hard Man, Top Man, Shadow Man, Spark Man, Snake Man, Gemini Man, or Needle Man. And that's probably the best order to do it in, too. Each robot master features a unique weapon and stage related to the weapon's power. After defeating the boss, the signature weapon is added to Mega Man's arsenal. Robot masters are weak to weapons of other robot masters. We all know how to do this. This is the first game that features a slide, which lets it slip under enemy attacks and low-level barriers. After completing certain stages, we can access new abilities in Rush, including the Rush Coil, Rush Jet, and Rush Marine. Rush Marine, pretty useless everywhere except like 2 screens. Through the various stages, the player encounters Proto Man as Breakman, a mini-boss who, once defeated, will open passageways for the player to advance. Mega Man 3 also expands upon 2 preceding games by having additional stages set between the initial 8 robot masters and the linear stages of Dr. Wily's fortress. does also include a password system. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about, this is going to be probably a long episode, because Mega Man 3 and I, well, let's say we get along, but we don't hang out much. Mega Man 3 is the game in the series that started the, oops, that really wasn't Dr. Wily thing. And it does that in this game with the Doc Robot stages. Mega Man 4 has you traversing through 2 different castles, so does Mega Man 5 and Mega Man 6. This is the game that started that. It doesn't add much to it, more than a tiny bit of plot in the other games, as there wasn't much plot to be seen in this game. And really all it does is it makes the game longer just by making you have to go through more stages, which don't really offer anything new, challenging, or interesting to the storyline. That's one of my complaints about Mega Man 3. Because it started that whole thing. And by the time you've played through 3 or 4 of the game, you really kind of get tired of it. You know what I'm saying? So development on Mega Man 3 began at Capcom over a year after Mega Man 2 was released. The lead supervisor of the first 2 games quit his job at the company during that gap of time. Artist Inafune, credited as Enough King, considered Mega Man 3 one of his least favorite entries in the series due to what went into the game and what was behind the release of the game, he's quoted to say. He had preset notions about successful development because of the team's good experience with Mega Man 2, and found that his new superior, quote, didn't really understand Mega Man the way his predecessor did, unquote. During the game's production, the developers lost the main planner, so Inafune had to take over that job for its completion. Inafune recalled the final 2 months of development as particularly turbulent, when he had to take responsibility for assessing and dividing up tasks among the team members who were not meeting deadlines. The team was forced to put Mega Man 3 on the market before they thought it was ready. Inafune concluded, quote, I knew that if we had more time to polish it, we could do a lot of things better, make it a better game. But the company said that we needed to release it. The whole environment behind what went into the production of the game is what I least favored. Numbers 1 and 2, I really wanted to make the games. I was so excited about them. Number 3, it just turned out very different. Unquote. It enjoyed a positive reception from print and online sources, which is a lie. There were no online sources back then. Lucas M. Thomas of IGN, Christian Nutt and Justin Spear of GameSpot, Patricia Hartley and Kirk Lesser of Dragon, Dan Whitehead of Eurogamer, Edward J. Semrad of the Milwaukee Journal and Electronic Gaming Monthly, and the staff of Nintendo Power all mutually found the game to have impressive graphics, enjoyable music, and challenging gameplay. Nutt and Spear summarized Mega Man 3 as a top-notch game and Capcom's pinnacle of NES effort. IGN's Colin Moriarty argued that the game as a major improvement over the original Mega Man, and that it even surpasses the critically acclaimed Mega Man 2 in quality. Moriarty justified his claim of the third installment attempt at a better storytelling, its longer length than any other classic Mega Man game, and its inclusion of all 8 Mega Man 2 Robot Masters. Some critics have judged Mega Man 3 to be excessively difficult. GamePro contributor McKinley Noble comically stated that actions such as pulling teeth, lifting a car over your head, or performing open-heart surgery are all significantly easier than beating Mega Man 3. Whitehead noted leaps must be precise, enemies must be dispatched rapidly and accurately, and there is a constant state of delicious near panic as you wait to see what vicious demands the next room will place on your platforming skill. Hartley and Lesser additionally saw considerable flicker when too many sprites appeared on screen at once. The writers mentioned that it detracted from the normal crisp graphics the few times it was noticed. So, I don't think Mega Man 3 is excessively difficult. I actually find Mega Man 3 to be easier than most of the other games. I played it a lot when I was a kid. And even back then, I didn't find it super difficult. It's very beatable. It is long. There is sprite flicker, which they talked about. That does tend to happen. The game had a new sound engine than the other 2 games. Mega Man 1 had an engine that was used in Legendary Wings and that kind of era. Mega Man 2 had a slightly different sound engine. Mega Man 3 has a different sound engine from that. And I don't particularly care for the sounds in Mega Man 3. I think the sounds in 2 were much better. I think the music engine in 2 was better. I do like the music from 3. I just don't like the instrumentation in 3. I tend to agree with Inafune that had they had 2 more months even, this game could have come out and been just amazing. But instead, we got a very much anticipated sequel to a very, very good game that I feel a lot of people just liked because it was a new Mega Man game. Could have been better. I put 6 better than this one. So, if I'm going to play a Mega Man game, I'll play Mega Man 2, I'll play Mega Man 6, then 3, then 4, then 5 of the classic series. Of course, now I play other games like Mega Man Unlimited and stuff too, so it doesn't really matter.